Hi, thank you. My name is James Edwards, and I wanted to thank you for your time today. This presentation is about buying property here in Florida, presented by buyflorida.net. This is being done in the late summer of 2011, so this will be very relevant to you for those of you who have been following the news and remember the debt discussions and S&P downgrade as far as the United States is considered. So I wanted to make that point so you understood how fresh this was. I don't take your time with me very lightly. I will be informative and I will be sharing information with you, specifically details and facts, so you can make a best decision about buying property, getting a return on your investment, as well as making sure you're making a sound investment, whether it be in residential properties or commercial properties. Just a quick background on myself. I grew up in the late 70s, early 80s when interest rates were 18%, and I saw a boom there and a bust. And I saw the people that bought properties then are actually done very well through the late 80s and early 90s. And this is one of the reasons Florida is still growing despite what you may see on television or read in magazines. And there's a pretty dramatic reason for this. It's because there's a population shift that's going on with the U.S. population from northern cities where they're being taxed by municipalities and cities. They're being basically pushed away by those kind of tax burdens. From this USA Today article, you'll see here, despite record foreclosures and high unemployment, Florida still grew at 17.6% to 18.8 million, well above the 9.7 national rate. That's huge when you consider that's almost double what the national rate is doing. But we're going to come back to this question, and it's a very relevant question because people are always going to ask this question. Yes, I understand you're a real estate agent, but why buy now? Well, every agent's going to tell you to buy now. However, what I see between the last boom and bust and now is that Florida is growing and will continue to grow. And no matter what happens in your economy or our economy here in the U.S. or specifically in Florida, you want to make sure you're ahead of a couple trends. Despite what happens in the U.S. economy or your economy, Florida will still and always will have these key factors: 250 days of sun, miles and miles of beaches, theme parks, world-class fishing, famous golf courses, and much, much more. We're still getting more people from the northern part of the U.S. and we do have one of only the two beaches that you're allowed to actually take your car out onto. NASCAR made their money by having races at Daytona Beach. In fact, their races originally started on the beach, and I don't know if you know this, but the races outdoor at Daytona, those are the largest sporting events that are actually larger than the Super Bowl by by attendance. But we're going to come back to this question: why buy now? Let's face it, America's on sale. We've had 10 years of price increases and insanity. When it finally hit a point, it's now coming back down, but it's getting to a reasonable and a very reasonable price point. We're looking at properties is going to be a great opportunity for you to buy premier properties, which have been out of the reach for the past 5 years and hit insanity numbers. And now they're coming down, they're becoming reasonable. And we're going to take a look at a couple examples here. And I'm going to specifically talk about homes for right now because commercial properties are a little bit more challenging because we're looking at different numbers. But here's a home here which we're selling for millions of dollars only 5 years ago. They're pretty much selling for almost quarter to half of what their highs were. Here's a home that was listed for $5.7 million in 2005. That's a huge amount of money in 2005, and it's still a huge amount of money now. However, that this house, which the bank owns, is 10,000 square feet, is now only listed for 2.15 million US. The bank is asking this. That's not what they're going to accept. They'll accept a lower price, and the bank owns this. I've done some math for you. And just to kind of give you a price understand the price reduction, that's a 62% drop from the listed high price. And at 10,000 square feet at 2.15 million, that's $215 a square foot. So what your dollar can buy in today's market will go far. In fact, it'll go very far. We're going to take a look at another example here. Here's a property that was actually listed, is listed, and it's on the Gulf Coast, on the West Coast, in 2005 for $1.4 million. It's listed only now for $850,000. But we're going to come back to this. Why buy now, James? Why? Well, there's a couple of things. We already talked about population shift, but now we're going to talk about security. And people, the smart money understands that, the U.S. is not going anyplace despite the downgrades. What, show you that U.S. Treasury bills, they didn't collapse during the debt discussions. Because where else can you put your money? Where else are you going to invest your money and work for you? Are you going to buy waterfront properties in Greece, Ireland, Portugal, Swiss, Spain, or even Italy? I hear they're having their challenges. In fact, because of Greece and Spain and possibly Italy, that there's a chance that even the euro may be losing some of its value against the US dollar. This is a challenging time for Europeans. However, there's an investor by the name of Jim Rogers who has said this: you sell during the hysteria when everybody's a genius, and you buy during a panic. And I can tell you right now, people are nervous about properties, which is a perfect time. And that's why people always want to come to America. They know that the security of America is here, and people always want to buy Florida properties. And while others are panicking, you can be buying Florida at a deep discount. A deep discount. However, I understand this opportunity may not be for you. And I understand. But for those with vision who can see that this is just a downturn, it's not a dead end street, you'll be able to enjoy some of these premier properties. You'll be able to take advantage of the price that has dropped. And those who see it will be able to enjoy these waterfront properties. Large banks have properties they want to sell. They have residential and commercial. Some of the residential properties they have, such as condos, single family homes, and townhomes, those are plenty. They even have commercial properties. Here are some examples, such as apartment complexes, condo projects, retail shopping strips. I've seen hotels go to the foreclosure auction, motels, vacant land, just to name a few. But I understand. You may not feel comfortable with it, and this opportunity may not be for you. If you don't feel comfortable keeping your money in the bank, I just got a simple question for you. Where else are you going to put it? You've worked very hard for it. Why don't you put your money to work for you? This is why I believe that this is the time for you to consider buying either a secondary home or cash flowing properties in the U.S. while the value of the dollar is down. So I covered this with you a little bit before. Population shifts, flight to security, premier properties. If you're interested in buying some Florida property, I can send you a list of residential or commercial properties. I can email them to you, and you can just tell me what you're looking for. And if you want that information, like I said, I can email it to you. I can call you. You can give me a call. My name again is James Edwards at 321-297-6044, or you can email me at james@buyflorida.net. I wanted to thank you for your time that you spent with me today. I'm going to leave my information up here on the screen so you can write it down. You'll have plenty of time to get it down. I do honor and don't take lightly the time that you spent with me, so I look forward to hearing from you either directly or by email. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.